I was like, okay, now that we've maximized our single family home, what else can we do? And then we had another single family home that we had that had never had any.
You're listening to the Right Club podcast, where the focus is all about helping you grow your real estate investment portfolio and live the life you want to live. Come grow with us and join our community at thereiteclubb.com. And now your hosts, Sarah Larby and Alfonso Salemi.
Hello, Right Club Nation. It's Laurel Simmons here. Before we get started, I wanted to ask you a quick question. Have you checked out our online community yet? I really hope you do, because our online community is a place where you can find lots of education, training, and information about real estate investing and about general business. Plus, it's a great place to network with like-minded people. We have interactive forums, all our podcast episodes, and tons of videos about a wide range of topics. It's free to join, so be sure to come grow with us at thereiteclubb.com. Now, on with our podcast.
Welcome back, Right Club Nation. Now for another episode of the Right Club podcast. I'm Alfonso Salemi, and today I am with my co-host, Sarah Larby. How's it going, Sarah?
Going well, buddy. How are you?
Very good, very good. Super excited recording these podcasts. We're back in the swing of things, recording, meeting so many amazing people, part of the Right Club community, and so many great stories. And today is no different. We get to sit down and talk with Danielle, who, didn't think she was a real estate investor, but she definitely was a real estate investor. She started at 24 years old, and really her and her husband, got a shot of reality at during the pandemic. Her husband was an airplane mechanic, lost his job, and they went full-fledged. They put the throttle to the floor, started real estate investing, now investing across the country, out east, and really an inspirational story, sharing her story all the time on Instagram and being an inspiration, educating others. So really great combo with her. Really looking forward to that today.
Yeah, me too. Danielle Unsworth. I met her at an event not that long ago, like a couple of weeks ago at this time of recording. And she's just like a breath of fresh air, super inspirational, super passionate, willing to give back. And, another woman doing it and getting things done in business, which is awesome to see. So let's bring her on. And by the way, if you haven't left a rating and review, please do so. And it'll help boost the show for more people to find it. And I hope you guys enjoy the podcast with Danielle Unsworth.
Welcome to the podcast, Danielle Unsworth. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, great to have you on the show. I would like for all the listeners and all those that are watching or listening to this podcast, why don't you give us a little bit about your background and who you are?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here and very grateful for this opportunity. So I started investing in real estate a long time ago, but I didn't consider myself an investor until about, last year, 2020. I bought my first property when I was 24. I was going to start my master's and I didn't want to pay rent. So I was determined to buy my own property and just pay myself rent. And that's kind of when it started for me, because I saw the benefits and all the potential that real estate can really give you. So then I kind of got addicted, and my husband and I, instead of having the big wedding, we ended up buying our property instead. And so that's kind of how we got started. And we kind of went the slow and steady route by refinancing every couple of years and accumulating a small portfolio that way. And then in 2020, he lost his job, and we had to kind of shift our focus a bit. And we went like full into real estate, started educating ourselves, going to networking events. And I was very lucky that it was mostly online. So with 2 kids at home, I was able to attend a lot of them because I was able to do them online. And that's kind of how it started for me. And sharing my journey on social media really helped me meet other amazing investors. And so this year we've partnered up with other investors, and we're able to scale our portfolio. We're working on some amazing deals right now. And that's kind of where I am right now.
I mean, that's like incredible. And it's very inspirational that when people are, it was a tough situation. And it still is right now, right? The pandemic, you can't go anywhere. You've got all these restrictions. This is where people could say, I'm just going to watch Netflix for,
Yeah.
a few hours a night, and I'm going to do that with my time. And I'm not taking away from anybody, but there's a lot of people that put their feet up and not doing as much as they could have. And then here you are really taking it and saying, okay, we've lost, he's lost his job. We started dabbling in real estate investing. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, you are going and making things happen. And so I want to say congratulations, because in 2020, it was a tough year for a lot of people. And this
Yes.
was definitely a test in mental strength, I think. And so, you took something that you were slowly getting into and you accelerated. So can you maybe talk to us about like the last year challenges, ups, like, some of the things that you've accomplished, and just looking back, I guess, in the last year.
Sure. Yes. So 2020 was a huge year for growth for me. I decided, to hire my first coach. We looked at the properties that we currently own, and we mostly owned single family homes at that time because that's all we knew. So we started, researching, and people were doing all these legal basement suites at that time. We're like, how do we get into this? And so then we realized we had a semi-detached home with an unfinished basement. And then we thought, why don't we try to change some of these single family homes into duplexes? So I hired my first coach, and she's amazing and helped me through the whole secondary dwelling conversion process. And that's kind of how we started into renovations and doing the BRRRR strategy. And so after that, I was like, okay, now that we've, maximized our single family home, what else can we do? And then we had another single family home that we had that had never had any updates. It was from 1989. So we looked into renovating that, and then, forcing that appreciation and then refinancing it. And then we started joining forces with my sister, who was also in real estate, but we never really just talked about it really until last year. And we decided to pool our resources, and we started joint venturing with other investors into multi-family units. So we were able to purchase a 6-plex. We just closed on a 7-plex in Moncton in August, and we have a few under contract now. So that's kind of how it just totally escalated from that decision to commit to real estate as an investing strategy, and by hiring a coach. So that's really where I saw like the most exponential growth, is by hiring my coach, giving me that confidence, and then seeing the benefits of coaching and the unlimited like resources that come with having a coach, and then just going like full force into it. And also just honestly, like she told me, my coach, share your journey, because there are other people that are exactly where you are, and they need someone to be their light to show them that, you can do this. And I have zero renovation background, and I'm scared all the time to get like my hands sawed over or things like that. So to me, if I can do it, I know other women can also do this. And it is scary, but with the right coach and the right support system, anything is possible. And that's what I learned in 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a great answer. And like you said, is the partnerships and now working with other investors, inspiring them, to bring on bigger projects, the 6-plex and 7-plex. So you mentioned Moncton. So is that where most of the multi units are right now, or where you're investing, or where you're spending most of your focus on?
Yes, we started shifting into the East Coast, because we are working with a partner, and she has a local expert team, teams there, and she has a local team there as well. And we're just seeing that shift in the market, and it's much more bang for your buck in terms of like larger multifamilies in the East Coast. So we're also working on another larger multifamily with our investor, and she's analyzing. It's a 24 unit, and so it's just the deals are getting bigger, but we're just getting more comfortable with them. And we also want to share these opportunities with other investors who, want to invest in real estate but aren't sure how to start. So by sharing our journey, they can see the progression. We went from single family homes to small multis, and now we're starting to go to the mid-range and larger multi within a year. So it's definitely doable. You just need to get out there and start talking to people who are doing what you want to do.
And now we're going to take a quick break to hear from one of our sponsors.
Hey, Right Club Nation. We want to take a quick break from the podcast to introduce you to a longtime supporter of the Right Club and many members of the Right Club Nation, Mr. Dylan Suter of Elevation Realty. Dylan, take it away.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. We, as Elevation Realty, are the sponsor for the real estate slot at the Right Club, and we have been attending since the second Right Club. We are an investment-focused, high-volume real estate team serving the Golden Horseshoe from Oakville down to Niagara. If you are looking to increase your cash flows or you want to find an incredible opportunity, we deal with builders, we deal with off-market opportunities, as well as we are very creative and negotiate the best deal for even on-market opportunities. We've helped a number of clients with the Right Club find flips, single-family rentals, duplex conversions, 3 and 4 unit renovations, all the way up to large residential buildings with high cash flow. A little bit about myself, if you haven't heard, personally, I've scaled over 300 doors in the last 2 years, which has given me a ton of experience in analyzing all the deals that may come across my desk for you. So if you're interested in learning more, please reach out to us at 905-592-4220, or you can email us at admin@elevationrealty.ca. That is admin at ELEVATION realty.ca. And let's sit down and create your investment dream portfolio.
Guys, and I have to say, I stand behind Elevation and Dylan. They found me. My last few properties have done an amazing job. 100% recommend them. So thank you for all your hard work.
Now, back to the podcast.
And now back to the show.
Yeah, and you mentioned a word, comfortable, and just even getting out of your comfort zone to do something, and over time you become comfortable with it. And many people are out there not taking action because it scares them. And, just like even for me, like when I first bought the first piece of land to build on, I was worried, but I don't think if I didn't buy it, if I didn't push myself out of that comfort zone to say, I'm just going to buy a piece of land and we're going to do something different, I don't think the resort would have been even in the cards, so it's almost like you take that leap forward, then you get more comfortable with that and you get comfortable with something else. And just having the right people around you is definitely huge. But to go back to obviously your husband and he lost his job, how has that changed your life or your lifestyle with what you have now looking back? Like, is he going back to work? Is he done forever? Like,
Yeah, I'm sure he would like to. The thing with my husband, he's an aircraft maintenance engineer, so he works on airplanes. So he actually loves his job. So he does want to go back. And real estate is more of my passion. So he's been playing a very supportive role in terms of, helping me look through the inspection reports, analyzing deals, because he's like a math genius. So he's like my go-to for deal analysis. And so he's been doing a lot of that support work while I'm the one that's sort of, closing the deals, putting them together, etc. But at one point, he does definitely want to go back to work because he misses that atmosphere. It's totally different than real estate, like he has his crew and he's got his engines and he gets to work on them. So there is that component that he is definitely missing that aspect. And it was hard for him at the beginning because he was on temporary laid off. He was temporarily laid off, but then like 6 months later it became official. So for 6 months he was very hopeful to go back. So that was sort of an emotional roller coaster for him and for us as well. But then once we got like the final papers, that's when we were like, okay, we need to figure this out because we can't just be hopeful that you're going to go back to work. But at this point we're at a really good phase in our lives because of our real estate portfolio that we're able to sustain the same lifestyle. And if he does go back, it would be by choice. So that's something we're very, very grateful for. And yeah, so like the power of real estate is amazing. Like it really can change your life and it gives you the freedom to choose whether you want to go back to work or not. So that's where we are right now.
Yeah, I think Sarah and I have said it a few times, and I know once Sarah left her job or her her job, and by myself as well, now almost considered unemployable, right? That you don't want to report to somebody else or put that effort in for somebody else. And you working on all different types of projects. You mentioned the 20 plus unit, the 6 and 7. How here's a question, for finding properties out east and getting again comfortable being uncomfortable and pushing yourself. How do you find those opportunities? You mentioned you have some good contacts, but you're obviously very personable, and we just met, and great personality, and great outlook on life altogether. But how do you keep active, or how do you find these opportunities in all different parts?
Yes, that's a great question. So the key is to be resourceful, and literally you have to tell people what you're looking for, because if you don't tell people what you're looking for, they won't have you, on their mind when something comes up. So everybody that you talk to, you have to let them know, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm looking for. If you know anybody, or if you hear anything, please let me know. And then they'll always sort of keep you, in their radar. So to me, it's a lot of networking and talking to people, because you can be on the computer and you can look up all the deals, but those deals aren't like the great deals, right? The great deals are the ones where, you're talking to your mortgage broker, and then his last client is thinking about selling his apartment building. So he's going to tell you, hey, you know what? My last client has this deal he might, sell. If he does, I'll ask him if he's really serious, and I'll let you know. And then boom, you have a deal, right? So it's really a matter of just letting people know what you're doing, what you're looking for, so that they can think of you when those deals happen. And for myself, I always try to, when I talk to someone or when I meet someone, I always try to give them some sort of value, so that they'll remember me, or they'll keep me sort of, on their minds by doing something different, like either providing free advice or offering to help them in whatever it is that they're struggling with. So that way they'll just, they'll appreciate that help, and they always want to give back as well, because what goes around comes around, essentially. And that's how I sort of, that's how I do business.
Yeah, that is amazing. I mean, and you mentioned, off-market opportunities. Do you have some experience that maybe you can share of one of your deals that's how it happened? It wasn't necessarily on the MLS, but it was through word of mouth?
Yes, of course. This is my favorite story. So one of the townhouses that we bought in, I think it was about a year and a half ago, I was literally standing outside of a house that had a for sale sign, and I was waiting for our realtor, and he ended up being late. And this couple walked by, and they just randomly asked me, are you looking to buy that house? And I said, yes, we're just waiting. And then she said, well, we're thinking about selling our house. And then my radar was like, mom, I gotta talk to her, right? So I just asked her, where the house was, what it looked like, why she's selling, so I just talked to her essentially. And then I asked for her phone number. She ended up inviting us over to look at the house right there. So we went and we saw the house. It looked great, and I just said, let's talk about the number and go back and just figure it out. And 3 days later, we had an offer. So the deal came to me, and I was just standing outside, waiting for my realtor. So things like that happen all the time, because, if you're not open to it, it won't happen. So maybe a few years ago, I would have just said, yeah, we're looking for the house. And then she would have just kept walking by. But the minute I heard her say she was thinking of selling, I was like, tell me more. Why do you want to sell? How can I help you? Do you need to pay for your son's school? What is the problem that you have that you're thinking that you need to sell this house? So how can I help you make that problem go away? So that's kind of how I look at it. And it happened. And she's so ecstatic because she was able to help her son. They bought a condo and she downsized. So it worked out really well for her.
And now we're going to take a quick break to hear from one of our sponsors.
Hey, Right Club Nation. I just wanted to take a moment and introduce you to today's podcast sponsor, privatebuyers.ca. On your team of experts, you're going to want to make sure that you have a great wholesaler that's going to bring you some great deals off market. So most real estate investors, they're struggling to find their next deal. private buyers. They help investors by bringing them some off-market opportunities at under market value so that they can make more money. These discounted real estate deals are not on the MLS. They've been found by privatebuyers.ca, who will then send them to your inbox. And they're also going to focus on your criteria and your goals and send you some tailored deals that match your needs. It's just really simple, guys. Just go to privatebuyers.ca, fill out the form, and start getting and seeing some available off-market opportunities. privatebuyers.ca. Now back to the podcast.
And now back to the show.
I love that. And we say that all the time. The real estate investing is really not about the real estate. It's about the people, all the different people, the professionals, the power teams, the people that we work with, the people that we're trying to help solve their problems, and people are helping solve our problems, right? It can go coincide with each other. So, for those of you that are listening and thinking, hey, this is tough, or you know what, Danielle's special. She's got this unique ability, and you're amazing, and you did some amazing things, but there's so many of us. You can go back through the hundreds of podcasts now that we've done, and these are the same type of things that keep coming up and over again, is people helping people. Right. So maybe for yourself that you didn't consider yourself an investor, and you were slowly grinding and okay, take out some equity and then, build out that portfolio. What's some of the advice that you would give to someone to aspiring to be an investor, or maybe sitting there today thinking, I'm not a real estate investor, where you were, just a few short years ago? What advice would you give to them?
Oh my gosh. So my advice is, don't think you have to do it alone, because literally it was me and my husband for 10 years, just kind of like trucking along by ourselves, not telling anybody what we were doing. We were literally just alone, the two of us doing this. So don't think you have to do it alone. The easiest way to meet other investors is to literally go into your Facebook and type up whatever city you're from, and then just put real estate meetup, and I guarantee it will pop up. There is a local meetup group, and just force yourself to go and meet those people and just talk to people. So don't be alone. And if you feel like, you're too scared to even do that, do some research and hire a coach, because the coach will make you do things that you're not comfortable, and she will force you to go and meet people at these local meetups, and she's going to make you, or he's going to make you sign up for things that you don't even you didn't even think about. Like, my coach told me I had to do one non-real estate event every month, and that's how I met other people that were not investing in real estate but kind of were thinking about it. So if she hadn't pushed me to do that, I wouldn't have been able to meet all these amazing other people and help them in their real estate journey. So don't think you have to do it alone. Hire the help if you need to. And the other thing I would say is that don't listen to people who aren't where you want to be, because I think that's super important. I hear all the time, like, oh, so like Bob's uncle's cousin lost money in real estate, so I don't know if that's what I want to do. But is Bob's uncle's friend, is he a seasoned investor? Has he, invested in himself to educate himself to make these, strategic decisions? Or was he just making, whatever he felt like doing at that time? It was not a well-informed decision. So if that person hasn't succeeded in what you're doing, don't listen to them. Find the people that are exactly where you want to be in a year or 2 years or 5 years, and ask them for help, ask for their advice, because that's where you want to go. So that's what I would say.
I mean, yeah, there's so much great insight and so much great advice. I can take it in many directions, but one of the things that I think that you said was really different maybe than the typical advice. I mean, not that you've given lots of great advice, but one of the things that I'm like, oh, this is actually really insightful, is figuring out which networking groups are non-real estate related to go to. And you can find some potential money partners, joint venture partners, people that aren't necessarily the active partner, but want to invest with somebody that has the experience. And so I guess, maybe walk us through, have you met people where you've partnered with them on real estate transactions from these networking events that were not necessarily real estate?
I have not partnered with them yet, but there's been a lot of growing interest, because the thing with people who are not investing in real estate, they want to feel comfortable in real estate first. So they like to see and listen and know that their money is going to be safe. So I do a lot of educating as well. And I'm okay with that, because I was at a point 10 years ago where nobody, taught me anything about real estate. I had to figure it out all by myself. So now I see a lot of women reach out to me that have zero background in real estate, and I'm happy to provide that guidance for them, because I know at one point they're going to be ready and they're going to want to invest in the first property that they're going to buy for themselves or their family. That's when they're going to, the light's just going to go off and they're going to come back for more. So at this point, I'm just trying to share my knowledge, and whoever is interested or whoever has that curiosity will reach out to me, and I'm just letting them be, and it will come when they're ready.
Yeah, I remember, you're talking about, having mentors and getting out of the comfort zone and giving more first, right? Or giving before asking, and giving again and giving again. And I go back to the one where we were actually doing meetings. So we stopped to get gas, and we were in the car. And my mentor said, "Go and talk to that person and tell them what you do." And I'm like, "I don't know that person. It's so random." And I just went out there and I felt completely uncomfortable. This person looked at me sideways. I had, my real estate investor card at the time. And you know what? I don't know whatever happened to that person, but it got me feeling, wow, okay, I didn't die. Nothing bad happened. I got back into the car and went on with the day, and getting them feeling comfortable. And that educating is so important, because there's no secret magic recipes, lotion, potion. This has been done for years and years and years. There isn't something that, oh my God, that Danielle's doing or Sarah's doing or I'm doing that's completely different. We're just putting our own spin on it and having our personalities and making it match our lifestyle, right? And making sure that it makes sense with us, working with people that we do want to work with. And that's so incredible that you're coming from that education standpoint, showing what you learned, the mistakes that you made, so that you're advancing, because that's what people have done for you to shorten your time frame, and now you're shortening others. So that's fantastic and really, really admirable, Danielle, and truly an inspiration for sure. So you know what? I think we're at the point where we're going to start our lightning round. What do you think? Are you ready for the lightning round?
Okay.
This week's lightning round is brought to you by Butler Mortgages, Canada's #1 mortgage brokerage, 3 years in a row. If you need a great mortgage broker to help you with investing in real estate or to help you purchase your next home, reach out to Daniel Patton and Michael Zanzini from Butler Mortgages. You can do that by calling 905-569-8326 or toll free at 1-888-MTGTEAM. And check out their website, butlermortgages.com, or by email daniel.patton@butlermortgages.com or michael.zanzini@butlermortgages.com. And let's go to the lightning round.
Let's do it. All right, Danielle, first question of the lightning round. What is the best advice that you have ever received from another investor or at a networking event?
Number one advice is to ask for help. So for myself, because I've been doing everything on my own, I'm just learning the last few weeks to start to delegate some of those, admin tasks and some of the social media, things that don't require my expertise, so that I can focus on things that really need me and my unique talent. So definitely ask for help, because if you don't ask, no one's going to offer. And I learned this week that there are so many people who really enjoy doing the things that you don't enjoy. So it's like you're making their day and they're making your day, and it's amazing. My friend loves to cook. She's helping us out. I have another friend who loves Canva. She loves being creative, but I could spend hours on Canva and come up with one black dot. It's terrible. I'm really bad. But so ask for help. And it's okay to delegate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Question number 2. What is your favorite resource for real estate investing?
For real estate, so I'm super thankful for the Rise Network. It was a Facebook group that I kind of stumbled across last year, and they have been super, super helpful. They also have a podcast as well. And every time there's a question from someone that's, new, everybody jumps on that question, and they're so supportive. I was blown away. When I first started my journey, I I'm like, these people exist. Like, they're so nice. And they're just giving me all these answers that I don't have to spend like an hour, 2 hours searching for. So I'm definitely grateful for them. I started also listening to The Truth About Real Estate Investing by Erwin Cito. He's the reason I started focusing more on real estate, because that's actually where I found my coach. She was a guest on his podcast. So he was like pretty much the start of everything. So I'm super grateful for his podcast as well.
All right. Very cool. Number 3, what is the one attribute that has made you most successful?
I think it's my transparency. I have been very transparent on social media about what I'm doing. You know, if there are any mistakes or any lessons I've learned throughout my projects or my renos, I'm willing to share that openly, because I really don't want other people to make those same mistakes. So I'm super transparent with the numbers as well. And also, I think my overall like passion and joy about real estate, I think it just makes people get really excited about it too, because I'm genuinely like, you gotta try this strategy. It's amazing. Or like, look at this property. Like, I've become obsessed. So I think that rubs off on people too, because they genuinely feel that I mean what I'm saying. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. Your passion definitely comes through, even on Zoom. It can definitely feel the passion of what you're doing, and definitely that you enjoy, your day to day, and the good and the bad, everything in between. So, last question of the lightning round: what does a typical Sunday morning look like for you?
Okay, so Sundays, everybody sleeps in a little bit, and my son comes in, and he's like, I love cuddling with him, so I spend extra time cuddling with him. He just turned 6 over the weekend. And then we just take it easy. Saturdays and Sundays are special. I usually try not to do a lot of work on the weekends. It's for family. So I spend a lot of cuddle time with him, and then we go make breakfast. I listen to music. I love the 90s and 2000s jams. So I just blast it. We make breakfast, and then I usually go to the gym after. So that's my typical Sunday mornings, Saturday and Sundays.
It sounds like a blast. And your son, by the way, I was looking at some pictures. He seems so cute.
Thank you so much. He had like the best weekend, because he actually was able to have friends over. So, and it was his first time with his own friends, because he's always had his brother's friends over, but now they're like his official friends. So it was a big deal.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
All right. Awesome. Danielle, where can our Right Club Nation reach out and find out more about you?
So I'm very active on Instagram. So it's Danielle.Unsworth. Same thing for Facebook, Danielle Unsworth. And I also have a website, DanielleUnsworth.com. Very, very easy to find me.
Awesome. It was a pleasure speaking with you, Danielle. And, we are so fortunate to have you part of the Right Club Nation, the Right Club community. Any last words or thoughts that you want to share with everyone?
No, I just want to say, like, sometimes people are scared to do new things, but that's the whole point. You have to be scared to do new things, because I tell my kids all the time, like, you have to push through fear, because magic is on the other side. So you got to go through it. Yeah.
Love it. Thanks so much, Danielle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both so
you.
much. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
What a great chat with Danielle. The energy was coming through the screen. Like, it's almost like in 3D. It was great, the conversation that we had. And I love what she said about getting out of the comfort zone and, telling people what you do, sharing them, feeling comfortable, being uncomfortable, and magic on the other side of fear. I really love that. And, it's okay to be scared. Most of the time, if you're not scared, what are you doing? Like, like maybe watching a horror movie. It's, October now, on maybe watching a movie. That's okay. That kind of fear is okay, but you're going to be okay because you're on your couch. But doing something that's actually making your heart fearful, being a little bit scared, nervous, and knowing that you have the support of others around you, building that network. So really, really great chat with Danielle. What did you think, Sarah?
I mean, you've mentioned a few things there. One of them I was going to mention, but that's all cool. We can share. I'm just kidding. But just being uncomfortable, or being comfortable with the uncomfortable. Being comfortable with the uncomfortable will help get you to the next step, the growth mode. And it's just amazing to see what she's been able to do. Hire a coach, hire a mentor, hire somebody whose footsteps you want to emulate and who's doing what you're doing and still doing it currently, because sometimes there are mentors and coaches that have been out of the real estate investing market for 20 years or 10 years or whatnot. But I will tell you, she's super inspirational. Her story and how she's taken a pandemic in the last year to really change things, move things in the right direction, and took action, even though it was not easy and it was uncomfortable. So Danielle, thank you so much for being on the show. You are super inspirational, and we're going to have her back at some point and see where she's at in her journey.
Yes, absolutely. And make sure you do reach out and get in contact with her, as well as get on to thereiteclubb.com, connect with the community, build your network of people, and yeah, continue to keep growing. So, and like what we always say, Sarah,
come grow with us.
All right. See you next time, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Right Club podcast and joining our community of real estate investors online at thereiteclubb.com, where the focus is about helping you grow. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks from your hosts, Sarah Larby and Alfonso Salemi.